Ultimately, the only person responsible for your professional development is you.
Welcome to another $4 million Strategies. Really excited to have the author, Frank Cespedes of Sales Management That Works. Today's discussion is talking about how to create great professional development in your organization. Frank, tell us what we should know.
Well, Carl, thank you very much for inviting me. A couple of comments about professional development. It's obviously essential, but I think there's a certain naivete that many people in business have about this. Ultimately, the only person responsible for your professional development is you. All right. Very few people wake up in the morning and say, my job in life is to make Carl Cox or Frank Cespedes a better person. Very few people. And by the way, as they get older, that includes your parents. So you have to take responsibility for this and be proactive in whatever organization that you're in. That's number one. Number two, and this, what I'm about to say, is supported by decades of consistent research. The most important driver of someone's professional development in business is not the schools they went to, not the executive program they attend, but you learn by doing in business. In other words, the job assignments that you do or don't get. One of the best ways to suffocate somebody's professional development is to give them as a boss a micromanager, somebody who doesn't allow them to do other things. But conversely, the only person responsible for your professional development is you. Conversely, you've got to raise your hand. You've got to ask for those other assignments. So that's number two. And then number three, I think, is as you move along in your career, what got you to where you are isn't necessarily what's going to get you to that next level. And that's why all the cliches about continuous learning, etc., are important. The marketplace has no responsibility to be nice to you and your professional aspirations. The marketplace is going to do what it does for lots of reasons that are fundamentally outside of your control. It's your responsibility to adapt. Now, that may sound unfair, but that's the way the world works on this particular planet. So continuous learning is important. Let me stop there because I think those are three of the basics in professional development in most areas of business.
Yeah, and I'm just going to add, Frank, one more thing to that, which is say yes to things even when you're uncomfortable. And because it's going to give you a new opportunity. I think so many people have opportunities, some opportunity comes across them and they're afraid to take it. And it's only through, I go back to my own personal experiences of managing IT when I didn't know IT, managing product management, going to set up a distribution center in Europe when I'd never been to Europe beforehand. I said yes. And through those experiences, it helped give me C-level experience. It got me. If it wasn't for doing those things, I would have never got there.
I agree. The best way I have heard this explained, I had a former student and he graduated from Harvard Business School. I think he was back for his 10th reunion and he came by to say hello. And over those 10 years, he had really done a number of things. And I was impressed. And I said, well, what have you learned from this? He said, here's what I've learned. I've learned that when you have the opportunity, whether or not you feel 100% ready, you want to do it because you're never going to be 100% ready. And he said, each time I got promoted, it was like the water was up to here. And my job was to figure out how to paddle and get the water down to here. Then I get the promotion again and the water's back up to here. I think he was saying in his own way, Carl, what you're saying. And is that a risk? Of course it's a risk. But, risk and return are correlated.
Absolutely. Frank, thank you so much for being on $4 Million Strategies today.
Thank you, Carl.